Oh, I can't go this way. What the fuck am I doing? Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Franktastic and thank you for clicking on my video. This video is going to be about the pros and cons of the 125. And I know I'm missing the side panel right here, but hey, when I bought the bike, it didn't come with it. The 125 is a perfect learning bike, okay? Perfect learning bike. If you never rode a bike before and you want to start riding, but you're scared, not exactly scared, but you know, don't know how to do the clutch, don't know how to do the gears, not exactly sure how to balance yourself. You know, you're afraid that you're going to crash, you're afraid that you're going to wreck, and all this stuff, you know. It goes through people's minds, and I totally understand that. If you never rode a bike, you don't have experience on a bike, but you want to learn, I suggest a 125 or a 250. Honestly, I suggest a 250, but if you can't get a 125, instead get a 125. I'm not, you know, discriminating 125s from all the other bikes, but 125s and 250s are really good learner bikes. They are really good bikes to learn on, and that's one reason why I got this bike, was to learn on. It doesn't have much power. It says it can do 80, but in all reality, it can barely do 60. So if you're trying to learn on a bike and you're afraid that it's going to throw you, you don't have much problem with this bike because, like I said, it doesn't have much power. But then again, if you're in first gear and you know you let go of the clutch, but you're still holding the gas a little bit, it might jerk you, it might throw you. Yes, of course, any bike would do that. I'm pretty sure scooters would do that. But this bike doesn't have much power, so it won't do it as bad. And also, this bike is super fucking light. So you can easily get on it and learn, like, the sitting, the stance, how to move, how to turn, how to swerve. It's very light. It's very easy to maintain control over it. It's very easy to balance. It's very easy to get knocked over by the wind. Also, that's another thing. Since this bike is so light, the wind can knock you off super quick, and that's one thing I hate about it, because I ride to Huntsville, which is like 2 hours away from here, and the wind just hits me and hits me and hits me, and plus I'm barely doing 60, so not much I can really do about that. But if you never rode a bike and you want to learn, this bike is the perfect bike for you, or a 250, whichever one you can get, honestly. I honestly kind of wish I started on a 250 just because it has a little more power. It can go a little faster, and all that good stuff. The pros of this bike is it being super light, easy to maintain, easy to control. Doesn't go too fast if you're learning and you don't want to go fast. It's very fun to ride around in town like I am, because most of these road speed limit is like maybe 50, maybe. So if you just want a bike to ride around town in, it'd be a good bike. The Kawasaki 125, which is what I'm riding, it is super easy to maintain. I've had this bike for about 5 months, and I've changed so much. It probably doesn't look like it, but I've changed the light bulb thanks to some buddies of mine, because I couldn't get this damn thing off. I tightened up the chain. If you saw my video where the chain popped off, the chain is tightened, which I need to tighten it again because it's so hot, and it gets really hot, so the chain expands, so it gets loose a little bit. So I need to tighten the chain up again. My foot brake right here was loose when I first got it, and I didn't fully understand why, but I've tightened that up, and then the throttle is like right here, so you can change the throttle on it if you want. And this light is not recognizing me, so I'm about to go. That's what I'm about to do. Goodbye. But that's all the pros. It's also really cheap on gas. The gas tank isn't super big, but it's not small either. I can fill this thing up with $5 if I get 87, and I can travel 2 hours there and then an hour back, so I can travel on this bike for about 3 hours, I guess, non-stop. But I put 93 in it, so it'd probably take about $7 to fill up, maybe, if that. And that's from like being empty. That's from like no gas at all. But yeah, that's all the pros of it. The cons of this bike is it's slow. Like, to me, it's just slow, but that's mostly because I've already learned how to ride. I can already do things that I could not do before, and I'm personally ready to upgrade. So that's just the cons. Once you figure out how to ride and you know how to ride and all that good stuff, you will want... Ooh, damn, look at that. Look at that. What kind of car is that? I'm not a car person. I know how to work on cars, but I don't know the fucking names of cars. I'm bad with names. Is this a stoplight? Damn, I'm getting stopped by too many fucking lights, man. The cons is that it is slow. If you know how to ride and you just want speed, don't get a 125. 250 might be okay, but it still doesn't have enough power or speed like a 600. So if you're going for speed, don't get a 125. Don't get a 250. Unless you don't know how to ride, then get a fucking 125 or a 250. I'm just saying, if you know how to ride and you want speed, get something more than a 600. Get a 600 or more. But cons, it's slow. And with it being slow, people like to ride your ass, and I mean, you can't do anything about it because you're giving this bike all the hell you've got. I've been in this situation going from here to Huntsville on 72. It's 65 on that road, and this bike is barely pushing 55 or 60 if I'm going down a hill. And people would be on my ass, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm in the slow lane. Get in the fucking passing lane and pass me, son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the speed is a huge bad thing for me. The other thing is honestly, I can't really think of another thing. Like, I really cannot think of another bad thing about a 125/250. If any of you watching this video, if you can think of anything other than, you know, the speed and the power, you know, and not having enough speed, not enough power, then please comment, because I've been on this bike for 5 months and I ride it almost every single day, and I love this bike. Like, if this bike would go faster, I would keep it, but it doesn't go faster, so that's why I'm trying to upgrade. But honestly, other than the speed and the power, I honestly can't think of any other cons. I can't think of any other bad thing about a 125/250. What the fuck? Man, y'all know there's some shit right there, right? And that is my pros and cons of a 125/250. Out.